Hello and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Hello and welcome to episode 14 of series 2 of Comic Solving Problems. We're very excited to have you here. This is the show where myself and Mr. Steve, we solve pretty much all of the world's problems, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, the hit rate, if you don't measure it, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, we've done about 50 of these, and the world's going great. So we're going to tear through some of the problems that we've seen in the world. Throughout the show, we are keeping an eye on various chats. So if you want to send us problems to solve, we're happy to try and tackle those as well. And also, this is a good thing to say at the beginning, Steve, is that if you're watching it on a social media platform of some sort, you can share it on Facebook so you can expand people that might see it. You can, I think, share on YouTube. You can ring a bell. You can retweet if you're on Twitter. You can just go outside your house and scream out loud that you're watching Comic Solving Problems. You might create your own problem if you do that, depending on where you live. But
just say you're doing it for the NHS.
Yeah, exactly. This is for the NHS. That's why we're here. And because nobody claps for them anymore. I mean, nobody claps for us anymore because we're essentially still pretty much unemployed. That's why we do this. But yeah, we're here. The YouTube link will go up every now and then throughout the show. I know we've got some people that purchase tickets in advance for that. Thank you. And if you do want to chuck us a drink at some point, please do, because this is our only hope.
Yeah, I was saying on Twitter earlier today, this is now my main source of income. And given that things are going that badly, I'm still paying more tax than Donald Trump. And probably more on that later.
Yeah, that's easy to do. Right, but I think to kick us off then properly with the first problem of the night, that is you, Steve.
Yeah, the problem of the new rules / laws. Things are getting even tougher with the world of coronavirus lockdown. Don't get me wrong, look, I like rules. I'm an INTJ personality type in the Myers-Briggs thing, which that means, we've talked about this on the show before, I'm the kind of person who enjoys rules so much that I drive around car parks in the direction of the arrows because it makes sense.
So, don't you just get to feel a little naughty when you go the wrong way?
Systems require rules to work, Eric. I don't know why you get any joy from breaking those rules. I like rules. It's within my personality type to do that, so I'm... what's the word? Better than other people. And this means I love a rule. So I'm loving rule. If I'm criticizing rules, the rules might be a problem. And everyone should enjoy rules. I can give you an example of a good rule that actually is from your home nation of America that came in recently. So this is a good one.
Today, the MTA will vote on a new rule that really should have been an old one. It will ban defecating on the city's subways and buses and inside transit facilities.
Wow.
What?
Didn't realize.
Where are you supposed to defecate now?
Oh, wow.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
Nanny State gone mad.
Maverick dumper over there. I would have presumed those rules are in everywhere, and because they've only just recently brought it in, I actually thought to myself, do we have the same rule over here? And by that, you've got to translate the language. I would mean the London Underground, not subway, because... can you take a dump in a subway is a different question if you come to the UK. That would lead to situations like this. Ooh. There you go. That's a foot long. It's classy humour tonight. It's classy humour.
They look so happy behind you.
Yeah, they're not put off by it. They're used to it because it's a place where you are allowed to defecate. I'm not sure if we do have the rule on the London Underground, because I actually remember when I first moved to London, young, naive Steve moved to London. I was on a tube after doing a gig, and there was me in one end of the carriage and a woman in the far end, and she just hitched herself just slightly off the seat and just wazzed all on the floor. And I was like, wow, this is welcome to London, Steve. And I thought, well, other end of the carriage doesn't bother me. And then the tube moved away from the station, and all of the momentum just meant it zoomed down the carriage, like, lift your legs. So I don't know if it's illegal, but people definitely do it. So that's a good example of a good rule. But there are some rules to do with coronavirus that are so confusing. It's messy. It's convoluted. It even manages to befuddle our Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who's had to apologise for misspeaking about the new rules, which I am surprised by because he seems so together and with it. He seems like he's got his head screwed on, well, certainly recently, if not tightly. So he was talking about some of the rules to do with the Northeast. And he said that groups of 6 could meet in a house or in hospitality, but not 6 outdoors, which no one really knew if that meant don't meet outdoors or more than 6. The rule is, actually, I've looked into it, and because we're talking about the Northeast, you can meet outside, but you're not allowed to wear a jacket or a coat.
That's true.
And, as much as that's a little joke, maybe if people in the Northeast wore a coat when they went out when it was cold, maybe you won't be catching as much stuff. So actually do some research on it, Witty and Valance. There might be something in there. So the rules are all confusing, because yesterday we heard that household mixing in any setting would be illegal in the Northeast, which made me think I'd picked exactly the wrong time to try and make a living by selling Tupperware. And then today it's been clarified it's not illegal for people from 2 households in the Northeast to meet outdoors. So is it illegal indoors, and how many can meet outdoors? It's still an absolute mess. So that's one example of new rules that make absolutely no sense. What else have we got in terms of the students? They're still being forced to stay wherever they are, but it's not legally enforceable yet for them. This is the front page of the Metro today. Some students have no food, no toilet roll, and no lectures. And we had them when I was at university, but we called those people doing an arts degree.
Oh, hey,
This guy.
careful.
Yeah. What was it you did again at university?
Theatre arts.
Okay, so nothing. Good. Did you have any lectures?
I mean, we did some coloring in.
Okay, good times.
Yeah.
I'm still angry about the event. But I thought what we'd do is let's go through some of the rules, because this show is here to help people. So let's clarify some of the new rules and laws that the government have brought in. Recklessly leaving isolation can now give you a £4,000 fine.
All right.
Recklessly. It feels like that needs a definition.
Yeah.
Is that...
Does that mean not checking if you have your keys with you when you leave the house?
That would be one of
If
them.
you don't do the...
Check, yeah. Make sure you got your mask.
Yeah.
Are you reckless if you leave the house and you're mainly paying more attention to your phone than where you're walking? Because I'd give them a £4,000 fine, and that is reckless.
Yeah.
Running with your eyes closed. That would definitely be a reason why you should get a fine, I guess. What a bizarre rule, though. Who defines reckless? Rule 2. Maliciously forcing someone into isolation will see you hit with a £1,000 fine. I'm a little bit worried about this.
Okay.
Because in episode 7 or something, when we started to hear how it works, that if you get contacted by track and trace, anyone that you've been in contact with will be told to self-isolate. And I did this sketch.
Hello, Mr. Allen.
Yep, speaking.
I'm calling from the Track and Trace Centre. I'm sorry, I have to tell you, you've tested positive for COVID-19.
Do you know, I did feel a bit peaky.
Well, now I need to know who you've been in contact with so that I can contact them and tell them to self-isolate for 14 days.
Oh.
Don't worry, we won't be telling them that it's because of you.
So whoever I list now will have to stay at home for 14 days and they won't know it's because of me.
Yeah.
Dominic Cummings. The problem is, if anyone did that because of that sketch, I think we might get fined. And trust us, we have not earned enough money from this show to pay for those fines.
That's not malicious, though. That's justice.
Yeah, that's true. I'll take that as a defence. Nice work.
Yeah.
On to the next rule. You have to tell your work if you're self-isolating, or you get a £50 fine. It's the smallest of the fines by the look of it.
Okay.
Who wouldn't... Have you met people? The speed with which people will call in for a sickie is amazing. If other ailments that aren't COVID elicit people calling in for sickies, including a hangover and some football on today. So if people are willing to call in for that, they're going to call in about the COVIDs. Hospitality has been forced to stop people singing and dancing. This is an interesting one. We work in hospitality effectively, singing and dancing. It's very easy to take this down the path of saying it's like the film Footloose, if they're banning dancing. I'm not too upset about it, because I'm kind of bulletproof when it comes to this.
Right, stop what you're doing. We are the COVID marshals. We are here to stop people dancing. Whatever that was, it's not dancing. You carry on, mate.
Method dancing. There you
Nice.
They can't touch me for it.
Is that with digital effects?
Yeah, that's all snake hips. That's all I limbered up first. That's what that was. And the final rule I wanted to mention, just so we're all up to date, is this. I mean, this is the most pointless one. Some hospitality businesses are banned from playing music louder than 85 decibels. Why?
Okay.
Is that so you don't hear the virus sneak up on you? Does the volume activate it? I'm going to get in there and infect someone. The hell?
How loud approximately is a decibel?
Do you know, I was going to look it up because there's normally things like, I think, is it 100 or something? Is like a pneumatic drill nearby, which some of the music these days sounds like that.
It's terrible.
And aeroplanes going off and stuff like that. But I don't understand what. Yeah, because it's the volume that really spreads the virus around.
Well, because the speakers are using sound to vibrate, and the vibrations push the virus. It's science, Steve. I thought you'd understand that.
It's because of all the 5G and the Bill Gates. It's all because of the Bill Gates.
It's the Bill Gates.
I understand what's going on there.
Good. I feel like I really know what's going on now.
Thank you. Well, we gave it a go, didn't we? I mean, what an absolute mess. Some of the messages coming through then. Mark says, Steve, for Strictly 2021.
Nice.
Did you see those hips move?
Yeah. I mean, if you get back on MASH Report, there's no reason why they shouldn't put you on Strictly.
It's all under the desk on the MASH Report. That's why you don't see what the hips are doing.
No. Yeah. You're peddling, though. You're peddling. What else have we got here? Theater arts. There's nothing wrong with theater arts. That is not the same as media studies. It's a real art. Media studies, Chris.
Theatre arts. Hang on. So if you've studied theatre arts, does that mean you've done acting? So you should be doing all the method. I did method dancing tonight.
Yeah. I can do, well, if we get to the Shakespeare level, I can do that.
Okay.
But we haven't quite gotten there yet. We're building toward that. Now it's more like an Ibsen play.
Right. Oh, look at that.
I used to know what that meant. I can't remember anymore.
85 decibels, says Mark, is the same as a passing lorry.
Oh. Well, if you got one of those in your gig, definitely a problem.
It's a bit of drum and bass.
What's the rule of the slide rule? Rule of the slide rule. That's what Paul's asking.
I don't know. Is that something to do with adding logarithms together?
Maybe.
Messages in the little thing if you want. Let's have a look. We've got some ones we missed earlier on. Fight the Power, says Exquisite Tenderness. I think we are doing. I think this is the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't fight the power going around a car park. I stick to the arrows because that way everything works. But other than that, I was thinking foot long before you said it. I bet you were, Mark. You that old man. Right.
Only in America. Exquisite Tenderness is said here. Yeah.
Well, that's because you've only just banned taking a dump on the subway. It makes no sense to me. How many times? Because people only bring in laws if those laws are required. How many times people have walked in, seen a dump, and like, is this legal?
Have you been on the subway in America, in New York?
By been, do you mean travelled or taken an enjoyable poo?
Either way.
No, I've never been either. Look, nor have I actually ever pooed on the London Underground. However, it is the only time that I would touch the handrail, because they always say always hold the handrail, only if I'm squatting.
I've been tempted to try and pee on the electric one just to see if there's arc. Would it come through?
Look, I only know my science from Ren and Stimpy, but don't whiz on the electric fence.
What have you been drinking like? Because does iron conduct electricity?
Does iron? Yeah.
Yeah. So if you were drinking Iron Brew and you were on the Glasgow Metro,
yeah,
then you whizzed on the thing. It would
make your Todger look like the kind of cigar that explodes in a cartoon.
Be an electrifying experience. Let's just put it that way. Right. We caught up on various comments.
We'll do more messages, but keep them coming.
We'll do more messages. Keep them coming through. Don't forget to subscribe. Do all those fun things. Right, Steve. This is actually a personal problem I'm going to bring to the show. We try and cover the world's news, but this is one that affects actually both you and I directly. What do you do when you cover a news story and then the New York Times comes along and steals your thunder?
Oh, man. All the time.
Yeah, all the time. Look, this was the headline on Sunday for the New York Times. Long concealed records show Trump's chronic losses and years of tax avoidance. And they got that big story by getting a hold of Trump's tax returns for the last 20-odd years. But you know what, Steve? If you remember, if you think back, we covered this back in June. We had a copy of Trump's tax returns, and we broke the story right here. Here's the evidence. This is an exclusive to Comics in Quarantine Solving Problems.
Yeah.
I have obtained a copy of the tax returns ahead of the court case. And I was able to get it because I just sent Trump a tweet, because he and I are Twitter buds. And I just said, look, it's only going to be broadcast in the UK. It's only going to be broadcast in Great Britain. And he said, that's fine, because Britain, you're not that great anymore. So he was more than happy to release the returns to you. Now, looking at these, I'm just going to highlight a few things. It's interesting looking at a billionaire's tax return, right? Because most of the figures on here are only in the millions. Which is strange. But actually, well, I say that on the official return, like where it's typed in, it's in $1 million levels. But then there's some zeros added with what looks like a crayon. It was a tiny crayon that was held by tiny little fingers. So don't know who did that. Now, we've known for a long time that in 1995, Trump lost $1 billion, right? He had one of the biggest tax write-offs of any American. But we've never known exactly what that loss was. And now we can see it, Steve. We can see that there was a $65 million loss for talking nicely to ugly people.
Wow.
You can write that off. There's also a $50 million tax credit for having children, which is why he has to keep getting married and having more children. More kids mean more tax breaks.
Understandable, yeah.
That's what these things are there for. He didn't take a deduction for health insurance costs. He just wrote in here, also in the same crayon, it just says, fitter than Jesus. So, okay.
Good, yeah.
Whatever. There's a $98 million loss for hamster hair. Don't know what that's for. And lastly, there is a $5 donation to a charity. And then, wait, hold on. There's something next to it. It just says, it's in the crayon again. It says, don't do that again. Look at that.
You broke it first.
Steve. Satire. That's what that was.
Those are the days. We somehow looked older back then.
I know. This was pre my military haircut and then the beard. I've got more beard now. Anyway, those are the days. June. We've aged so much.
Backwards. Yeah.
So the big takeaway from the Times story when they stole it, I mean, they didn't even credit us, which is just shocking. That's why Donald Trump calls them fake news all the time. This was the big takeaway from the Times story. We've got it here. That Trump paid just $750 in federal income tax in, I think, 16 and 17, 2016. Just that's all he paid. You know, this big billionaire Donald Trump in federal taxes, $750. That's about 600 quid, maybe 550 pounds. I've got 2 kids and a dog, Steve. I sneeze and $750 comes out. That's all he paid towards the running of the federal government. Now, Trump, of course, has responded to these allegations with 2 things. One, he said that the whole thing is utterly fake news. It's not real, okay? That is what he's established as a fact. He has also said that he's really smart for not paying any tax. So, it's real, but fake. Okay?
Right.
It's kind of like he did have sex with Stormy Daniels, but she faked her orgasms.
I mean, that seems like spot on logic. I can't fault you for it.
Yeah. So,
isn't it bizarre that he paid more to prostitutes than he did in tax?
I mean, to be fair, if you got the option of an or in that sentence, which would you choose?
The HMRC,
She's not by the way, she's not a prostitute. Stormy Daniels is a performance artist who studied theater.
Studied theatre. Okay.
She's an actress.
Okay.
I don't know if she studied theater. She's a natural. I mean, not all of her is natural. Some of her is augmented, but that doesn't matter.
He paid more to Stormy Daniels, though, than he did to America in tax. And wasn't there some detail on how much money he spent on hair care during the film?
$70,000.
$70,000
when he was filming The Apprentice. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, in our report, we said it was $1 million, so we exaggerated it a little. But.
Yeah, but I mean, it's bloody close, really. I mean, if you look at his hair and you think that's a lot of money, right, to be spending on hair when the product looks like that at the end. And I read that and thought to myself, geez, I hope he kept the receipt. Of course he did. He's writing everything off as a flipping expense.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Imagine what it would look like, though, if he hadn't spent the $70,000.
That's true, yeah.
I'm happy he spent the money there.
Yeah, fair play.
Stealing our stories. Stupid New York Times.
Mark says, talking nicely to ugly people, did he visit Philadelphia based on a CNN report honest? Maybes. Oh, and there was another one as well. Was it Mark or so? Yeah, Mark said going back to the trains. We'll just pop this up so you can message us if you wish to.
Oh yeah.
Going back to the trains. In 2018, Mark's done some research for us. It says London Underground had to delay 801 trains due to soiling incidents. This is from the Huffington Post. He said apparently if you hear code 2 on the tannoy, you know what it is.
There we go. That's what I like about our viewers is they're Googling things to back up what we're talking about. We're talking complete shit, and they're looking up stories about shit.
Just pinched off a code 2. That now might be my go-to euphemism whenever I'm like, just going to go nip into a code 2.
Yeah, there you go. You can hear my dog in the background. He agrees with you.
Is he triggered by the phrase code 2? Is he a trained dog ready to work on the underground?
So. Let's see here. And thank you to Chris, who's bought us a coffee. Thank you very much, Chris. We appreciate that, and your support is appreciated. If at any point anybody out there is thinking, I buy these guys a drink because I like what they're doing, or I buy them a drink just so they shut up, or if you're thinking $750 isn't much to pay in tax, we'll take $750 because we're probably not going to have to pay tax this year.
That's true. Yeah,
it's making so little money. Right? Is there any other comments to catch up on?
Is Trump a code 2? No, Trump is the thing that precedes a code 2 in my personal experience.
For any non-British viewers, Trump means fart in the United Kingdom, which precluded Trump being president. So that's not something they've just come up with.
Yeah,
so
good times. Good times. Right, keep the messages coming through, and we'll return to those as well soon. Don't forget, chuck that donation in the pot. You'll find the link near the stream. It would be very much appreciated. Thank you very much. I think it's time to solve another problem. Your dog agrees, so let's do it.
Something's going on out there.
This is the problem of delivering the vaccine. Everyone keeps saying if we get a vaccine, everything will be absolutely fine. But rollout of the UK vaccine faces years of delay because there's not enough organisation to be able to sort it out. Now, I, earlier on, had a theory about this anyway, that if you have ever liked a post on social media or expressed a view that is anything like an anti-vaxxer, back of the queue for you. You don't get to say nasty things about vaccines, and then all of a sudden, when a proper disease comes along, can I have a little bit of no, not for you. You know, my fun concept about science is that if you moan about science, put down the phone, never have any, probably heat, and any penicillin. You want some tasty penicillin? I'm afraid that's ours. Sorry, you gotta not have it. But I was thinking out, okay, what do we do when they've got vaccines? We just need to make loads of them and get it delivered. How is it possible that Amazon can get stuff to me 24 hours later, and yet our government can't organise getting a vaccine into the people who need a vaccine? So I thought, okay, let's just send it by drone like they're going to do with Amazon and Walmart in America, both using drones.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that's a good idea because the drone will come and try and deliver it to your back garden. You'll nip out there to try and pick up whatever tat you've ordered from Amazon, get your head sliced off, and then somehow it feels like that's not a step in the right direction. But the problem is a drone is not a human and it can't administer the medicines. However, they've invented... Imagine if you mixed drones and doctors.
Yeah.
Jetpack paramedics.
Yes.
Oh, this is the future we were promised. Tomorrow's world was normally a lying git. I spent most of my life waiting for robots that actually could play snooker. They promised it, and they never delivered it. Whereas now, look, we get jet suit paramedics being tested up in the Lake District so that they could save lives. It only takes them 90 seconds to get up one of the fells instead of half an hour's worth of walking. Oh, 2020, you've been an absolute shit. You've been the worst of years. But if this is the year when we get jetpacks, you've gone a little bit of the way to winning back my love.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah, you're still a shit year, but you're a shit year with a jetpack in it. So I'm not sure it'll work entirely. The idea is to get the paramedic up there to someone who's fallen over or something. As Graham pointed out, I don't know how he'll put the bandages on with those things on his hand, although he could cauterise the wound. Well, it won't bleed anymore.
Nice.
Yeah, this is technology which I think is quite useful. Let's do it. Let's just nerd out and watch the video of what a doctor in a jetpack looks like. Here he is, taking off. Whoop, flying away. This is so impressive. And then I watched this video and started to think, actually, if I fall over in the Lake District, sod sending him up there, send the cameraman. How is this guy keeping up with him? Doing far better moves. I think the problem with this is, like, it looks cool and it plays exactly into the nerdy nature that people like me have. But all it will mean is if you're in the Lake District, you climb a mountain, you fall over, you break your leg, they'll send one of those guys up. And just 90 seconds later, there'll be you with a broken leg and him who's just face planted a fell. And then they'll have to send up an actual ambulance. So it'll be fun, but not necessarily successful. Right. Any messages on this? You can actually. Would you have a jetpack if we could actually use those to get to work? Not that we have work these days.
Yeah, I mean, so you're saying that you have to walk up one of those mountains, takes like a half an hour, an hour. You can jetpack up there. I mean, I've gone on a couple treks and stuff. I could have done Machu Picchu in about 20 minutes. Been fucking amazing. I prepared a year for that trek.
I think you might have to do some training to use a jetpack, though, to be fair. I don't know.
I think I've got natural balance.
The problem is, right now I'm realising I already hated society, but if you put society on e-scooters, I hate them even more.
Oh, yeah.
So e-scooters are bad enough, but if we let people have jetpacks, the people with the headphones in, listening to their music, just jetpacking their way around, smacking into people. No. I don't think.
Everybody will think they're Top Gun. Tom Cruise just getting their dark glasses on.
Doing a flyby. It's true.
Good Lord. Yeah, it's going to be dangerous.
Right. Some of the things coming in. Mark says, fun facts, in Arabic countries, you can't do a Google search because they don't have a hard G sound. They jujul things.
Okay. I don't know if that was relevant to the story, Mark. Was that... Did I miss?
It's because you said, oh, look, we've been talking shit and they've been Googling it. And that's how tangential. That is beautiful.
I was like, what are that? Is that because the dog barked? What's that about? Spent the last 4 years doing a Code 1. Nice. Yeah. I'm guessing that's about Trump again.
Yep. And
there we go.
You can tweet us as well. The thing's on the screen. And the reason why I'm mentioning the Twitter thing is because after having Skanky Cam trying to be the thing that showed you my apps on my phone, and it was the thing that we tried to do the comment cam, but I didn't like it. Now I've got it set up so that what we can do, for example, we've been tweeted. What I can do is I've got product cam, where I can show you products. I've got a tweet there, but it's just someone saying that they're watching the show. So not necessarily the most in-depth one worth showing you. But look, Skanky Cam is now product cam.
Lovely. Very good. And if we could get some product endorsements, that'd be good. You just want to make sure if you're starting to show us what's on your phone, you don't want to do a Captain America. What's his name?
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans, yeah. Don't want to do Chris Evans. So should we go through some of your photos, Steve?
There's none of those on there, but what there is I got a bite when I was going for a run on my ankle and it turned infected. There's
show us that.
Plenty of pictures of that.
No.
Contribute money now, or I will show you the infected bite.
Yeesh.
Plenty of pictures.
Yeesh. Right. Are we ready to crack on to the next problem?
Yep.
Okay. Here we go. Here's the problem, Steve.
What?
How excited am I? I'm so excited because this is happening.
Yes, sir, we promised you a great main event here tonight. Andres, a giant.
Those are good, strong. So Rosie on me, kid.
The world is watching.
Debate night. Debate night. Been waiting 4 years for this, Steve.
Okay.
Debate night. This is the Super Bowl. This is the World Cup. This is the season finale of the Great British Bake Off. This is everything. This is the shit for politicos like me. This is it. We're going to the debate. It's going to be on at 2 a.m. in the UK. I'm staying up to watch it. I'm going to be live tweeting it and hopefully somewhat conscious. It's going to be incredible. It's everything's at stake. Biden is up 8 to 10 points in most of the national polls. So the whole thing, as always, is all about how Trump does. And I don't know how you feel about this. I know you're a big Trump fan.
I love Trump.
You love him, right? Now the thing is, Trump's allies have been trying, because he's got so many enablers around him, right? Because he's incompetent, but they've been trying to prepare his viewers for what to expect in the debate. And there's no one who's a bigger Trump enabler than Sean Hannity. So these are some of the things that they've been setting up the viewers to expect in the debate. There might be, see if you notice any contradictions of what he's saying. Here's one of the things they're saying to expect.
Oh, I believe that his campaign team, they are seeing what we all see. They see that Joe Biden is weak. They see that he is frail. They see that he is struggling cognitively.
I like the fact that he struggles to say that he's struggling cognitively, but we won't get into that, Sean. It's, we all trip up on our words sometimes. So basically, they're saying, look, Trump is going to clean the floor with Biden because, Biden can barely string a sentence together. He's an idiot. He's just lucky to be standing there. But they also have this to say about him.
Tomorrow, I suspect that all those months' preparations, it will be somewhat effective.
So Biden's going to be effective. He's probably going to be effective. He's an idiot, but he's going to be effective. You think, there's a contradiction there. You think now what is it, even though these things are odd, what is it that would mean, what is it that will make Biden effective at this debate? Sean's got an idea.
So Joe Biden is probably spent pretty much hours every day all summer long with 4 or 5 points that he memorizes on every likely issue that's going to come up during a debate, and probably 1 or 2 scripted attack lines against Donald Trump.
What a moron. He's actually been preparing for this. He's been studying research. He's been thinking about things to say and articulate. What a loser. It's like me when I tried to study at school. And where did that get me? Here. Screaming into a webcam to you twice a week. Christ's sake. Loser. Now, what has Trump been doing all this time to prepare for the debates? Here's what his spokesperson had to say.
His debate prep happens each and every day when he is at that podium taking questions, vicious questions at that, unfair questions.
Basically, what she's saying is Trump hasn't done anything. Just he's taken some mean questions and he's golfed. That's pretty much all. But that would mean asking him to work, and he doesn't really do that very well. Now, Trump has done a weird mix of this, because normally what you try and do is you try and raise expectations of your opponent and lower expectations of yourself. That's what you try and do. He's not really done it. But he does have a plan of what he's going to say if Biden does happen to do well tonight. This is it.
People say he was on performance-enhancing drugs. A lot of people have said that. A lot of people have written that. So let's take a look at it.
Do you know of any performance-enhancing drugs that make you debate better? I don't know.
Yeah, it's not well known, is it?
It's not well known. And you would think if anyone needed to take them, it would be Donald Trump. But he says that he knows this because, he's heard people saying it. So you're kind of like, oh, really, Donald Trump, it's not like you to provide something without any evidence. Tell us, Donald Trump, where did you learn that Biden is taking performance-enhancing drugs?
Take a look. Why don't you just check it? You can check out the internet. You'll see plenty of people say it.
No, well, if they say it on the internet, gosh, Donald, I can't believe that I didn't trust you. I mean, if they say it on the, I thought, after Donald Trump said that you can just learn things on the internet. This afternoon in preparing for this, I spent a lot of time going on the internet, Steve, and this is what I learned. So, that was the main focus of my big takeaway this afternoon.
I suppose it's kind of performance enhancing.
I mean, I've ordered it. I'll let you know. What? You can take it down now.
It's a book. I just thought it'd be tablets or something. It's a book.
Yeah, we found it on the internet. You can read it on the internet as well. There's some movies as well.
How will a book, unless you just slap it in the book and makes it longer but thinner?
I think it's got some techniques and maybe some recommendations. I don't know. I've ordered it. We'll see. I'm hoping a drone will drop it off, or maybe a jetpack, something like that. But I know there's one way to grow your penis, and that's to re-elect Donald Trump.
What? Did they make into a film version of it, like How to Train Your Dragon? Because obviously you'd have to change the title for.
That's the documentary version.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Surely to goodness, there is no drug that is performance enhancing other than caffeine. to stay awake to listen to the answer of your opponent. That's the only drug that's needed here, isn't it?
Well, some people have mentioned Adderall, but I don't know what that does to you. I've never been a partaker. I don't know if that's popular in the UK.
No. I mean, it is somewhat hypocritical of Donald Trump to say, this guy's on drugs. By the way, hydrochloroquine, get yourself the hydrochloroquine. And also,
drink some bleach.
Maybe we have bleach. Maybe we look into that. He's on all the drugs, surely to goodness.
The thing that broke after we'd done most of the story was that he wants people to check their ears before the debate to make sure none of them, they don't have microphones in their ears feeding them answers.
Yeah.
So,
well, here's a top insider tip for this show. My previous headphones broke, and now I've got low profile ones. Look at that.
Did you get new hair? Oh, you didn't tell me you got it.
Got extra sets of LED lights, which is why it looks like hell is behind me more. And one of those. So watch out if you see Joe Biden with one of these.
There we go. So I'll be watching the debates tonight. I don't know if anybody's going to join me, but yeah, 2 a.m. It starts in the UK.
Live tweeting it. I do think. Yeah, keeping it. There's no way that Donald Trump would have one of these, though. As much as you want to check them both out, there is no way that he could have an earpiece that could say kind of like, Mr. President, blah, 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 and he'd talk back to it. There's no way he'd keep it straight.
Maybe that's who he is talking to most of the time. That would explain a lot.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. People tell me it's the earpiece, Donald. I hear people saying this. Yeah, because of the earpiece.
But and I don't think he can translate Russian that quickly.
Nice.
So there we go. Anyone in the chats read the book to it, and it will grow with excitement. Nice, Chris. Very good. Let us know how big the package is. I will let you know, Mark. I will let you know.
And Chris says, Eric, you are easily pleased. I'd rather take the skirting boards off the living room and paint behind them as opposed to watching the debate.
No, this is it. It's just going to be huge.
And Mark says, it has to be hoped that Joe Biden's first answer begins with, well, that's the $750 question.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I mean, the thing is with Donald in general, I mean, Mitt Romney got in so much trouble because at one of the debates, he said, well, I'll bet you $10,000. And everybody's like, oh, how out of touch is he? He said that he would spend $10,000 on a bet. He clearly has no idea of the common man. And then here's Trump, where the average American middle-class worker pays way more than $750 in tax. So
yeah, but at least it means Donald Trump won't be spending 10 grand on a bet. There's no way he could afford that.
Yeah, that's right. Broke. Especially after he blew that $130,000 on Stormy. I mean, she blew.
Rainy Day Fund. Yeah. No, sorry, that's not her name, is it? That's a stripper partner.
Not a prostitute. So do subscribe to the show and tell people about the show. That's up there, isn't it?
That there as well.
And then if you want to throw us a drink.
And some other messages as well on some other message boards. I can't remember which one this comes from, but we've got a few other message boards.
Checking the other boards.
Someone on Periscope, CA is their name, who says, Trump 2020 and Trump my hero, and spells hero wrong.
It's not a spelling test, Steve. Don't criticize our leaders.
Well, I mean, I spell things wrong all the time, but the word hero is okay. And then any other messages coming through? Who's this? Taresh says they're a huge fan. Thank you. Keep watching. Good to have you here.
Someone's asked if you hate American. Do you hate American politics as much as we Americans hate the royal family?
Interesting.
I didn't know. That's interesting. I don't think most Americans I know like the royal family.
You must do, because there was the whole thing about Harry and Meghan getting a Netflix special.
Yeah, I mean, and when Diana died, I mean, that was huge. I mean, you'd think that we'd never fought a war to get rid of the royals. There were people who just.
And you know, to be fair, when Lincoln died, people in the UK weren't as bothered. So I think you're right. There is a discrepancy.
You didn't stay up all night watching on TV the funeral?
No. It's tough times.
Oh, you guys are heartless. I can't believe that.
There's some bad blood between us because of the whole, kind of like, hey, we ain't gonna pay no taxes no more.
That's exactly what. Have you seen Hamilton? That's how they talk.
That's how they do it. Although, Meghan Markle, Princess Meghan of No Longer Anywhere, says that she would consider being US president. And I'm in favour of this, and I've talked about this before, I think. I want Meghan to be president of America. I want Harry to become the king of the UK. Let's get these two nations back together. Come on, you can pay us back for that tax that you've been missing out on for a while. And if anything would really say goodbye to the Donald Trump era, it would be finally paying some tax.
Yeah, but that'll never happen, Steve, because America will never accept a ginger first lady.
Oh, ouch. 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 My beard is offended on his behalf.
Sorry, just putting it out there.
Fair enough. I think we are. Let's have a look. Americans don't give two shits about Meghan Markle, says Jack on Twitter. Well, then we do have something in common.
Jack is really going after Meghan. All right.
And Anthony on YouTube says, was basically saying about the only place where you should be allowed to do a wee-wee, it's not the subway, it's not the London Underground, only if it's a water slide. Oh, Anthony, other people have got to swim in that. Oh,
it's a good idea. Anyway, right. I think we're a little over time. Do we have one more problem? No,
that's it.
Problem?
Yeah,
that's it.
I hope
all right,
so.
There we go. So I'm going to be up all night. I'm going to be very crabby tomorrow. Maybe we'll film a live little recap of the debate, maybe, because we do these. We sometimes, if you subscribe to the channel, you not only get to see these shows, you can also see little extra bits that we do as podcasts, or we have a chat about the behind the scenes of the show. And so if you subscribe, make sure you click the bell, because then you get told when we're on. And then otherwise, we're back next Thursday, or this Thursday at 9 o'clock in the UK.
Yeah.
Anything else to?
No, that's it. And the episodes don't disappear, so keep sharing them and spreading them around on the
Please.
YouTube channel. You can get clips as well.
Yes.
We're just trying to spread the love. You spread the love as well. Chuck some money in the pot. It's all appreciated. Oh yeah, and if you do watch tomorrow for our extra live, basically it's us, but we don't dress up as smartly.
No, we don't. We don't dress up smartly, but we don't act smartly, which is the same.
Sometimes I wear a hat, so I look a bit like a director.
Yeah, it's a bit much, to be honest. We need to talk about that. But yeah, if you can buy us a drink, that's absolutely amazing. The link is there. But spread the word about the show if you've enjoyed it. Please tell people about it. Please subscribe. And yeah, we just want to, we take the time to put on our suits, not trousers, but the suit jackets. So yeah, it's worth it just for
Beautiful. That. Stay well, and we'll see you Thursday, 9 o'clock.
See you then. Bye.